Just a minute. Welcome to Galter Global Academy of Law, Tech, Education and Research, a unique academy established in India with global presence. Uh, Galter is a strong team of more than 185 members representing various disciplines of learning and knowledge, and we have executed successfully 21 Memorandum of Understanding MOUs with leading international and Indian institutions, corporate organizations, and universities. Uh, I welcome uh, our friend and a global expert, Dieter Brockmeyer from Brussels, Belgium, and our member, Galter, and associate professor at National Law University, Delhi, and center head for cybersecurity and laws, Dr. Aparajita Bhatt. Welcome, Dieter, and welcome, Dr. Aparajita, to this sixth episode of In Conversation series, wherein we invite global experts across the world to share their thoughts and their mind and the issues which are confronting the worldwide in the technology, in the diplomacy, in the negotiations, in the legal and ethical regulations of these frontier technologies, or we also call them as uh, deep tech, and so on. So today I have with me the uh, expert from Brussels, as I mentioned, Mr. Dieter Brockmeyer, who is also member of the Galter. I'm delighted to introduce Dieter, who is a senior media and innovation expert and who is a co-founder of Diplomatic World Institute, Belgium. He is a chief project officer and co-host and executive producer of the Diplomatic World Today and Tomorrow Innovation Thinking. Dieter curates international industry events and developed the DWI Holistic World Innovation Trophy since 2021, announced every fall at Barcelona Award. Dieter is also a great writer and he has written two celebrated books. One is Pandemia Box in 2021 and another is recent book Campus 2024. Both these books are available on Amazon, and we have in our upcoming newsletter published the summary and book review of the latest book Campus. So welcome Brock Dieter to this show in Conversation episode 6. And as Dr. Aparajita I mentioned is our Galter member and associate professor at National Law University Delhi. Again, we are collaborating for our next upcoming course on deep tech law and diplomacy, about which Dieter would throw some light during discussion. So, friends, today we are going to discuss with our two experts, mainly with the Dieter, about the global issues and challenges in deep technologies. As we all know that advancement in technologies and advanced technologies are fast and furious. And these are impacting profoundly our lives, our businesses, our governance, and every aspect of human life. And these technologies are not just confined to any territory, they are global in presence and global in functionality. So, Dieter, I would like to know from you uh, what are the major challenges and issues you think we should discuss today regarding our technological space? Over to you, Dieter.
First of all, I want to thank you for the invitation and the great partnership we just started to develop, and it's going quite well to this point. You already were a guest in my podcast. Do together with a very great German innovation
Yes.
profiler, Alexander Pinker, and we had a great discussion on more or less the same issue. So thank you very much, and it's a great pleasure to be invited to be a partner or a member of Galter and to develop things to you together with, we should mention, of course, Dr. Ingrid Vasiliou-Feltes, who can't be with us tonight because of her overfilled agenda. But her institute, the Institute for Science, Entrepreneurship and Investment in Miami, is another partner in our projects, and we have to thank her that she was bringing us together.
Yes.
Definitely.
Sure. We are missing
So,
her. Yes, we are missing her.
what we are talking about now is the increasing pressure of regulating and developing a regulating framework, especially on deep tech, because deep tech is impacting all our lives globally, not only in specific countries. It's a global thing, and it can't be separated anymore. Globalization, technology-driven globalization is, I think, one of the key factors that is driving global change, and we need to be prepared for it. And if we look at innovation cycles were speeding up in recent years, and they will continue to do so. Somebody, I don't know, remember who it was talking about AI on steroids, because when it is switched together or is coming together with quantum computing, and this impact will reach us in only a few years time, then innovation cycles will even speed up even further. And I'm not sure if we are prepared for it, not legally, but also not in our mindset. And I think these two things will be major issues that we will have to face, or we are faced in the future, and we have to get ready for it. Everybody is talking now about, just to give an example, about that we need to decrease bureaucracy because regulations are becoming too complex. And of course, we need to do it, but I see one danger, because when the AI bots are helping us to deal with all these regulations, we don't see them anymore. So today it takes weeks in Germany to register a new company. But when the AI bots are taking over and they are interacting with AI bots on the regulatory side, and then suddenly you have all these issues solved in days, maybe even hours, and you have your company registration completed. We don't realize anymore what's behind, but we lose control. Because we don't know what's happening anymore. And if a mistake is happening, or the AI bot is contradicting regulations in a very creative way we haven't been thinking of, and then suddenly things happening we are not prepared for. We are not able to sort it out anymore, what happened, and then we definitely are faced with tremendous problems. And yeah, that's something we have to face. And so, Mahendra, we were discussing that before. We do need more simple regulation, and I think a completely new regulation scheme that is able to deal with these developments on a long term. I don't want to. Well, I think we will deepen that in our conversation. But I don't want to fill in everything. I don't want to have an ongoing monologue.
Yeah, thank you, Dieter, for your opinion. And I also endorse and agree that we need simpler and effective regulatory mechanism and framework which can be accepted and adopted worldwide, because all these technologies are functioning globally, are applicable globally. And second thing which I like your comment is that we have to be future ready. We have to prepare our mindset to understand and accept those technologies and ring fence ourselves against the possible dangers. Uh, Very well
So
said.
that's basically the core issue in my book, my recent book, Campus.
Yes, yes.
To talk, well, I'm not talking so much about regulation and law enforcement, but I focus very much on this issue of how to get innovation ready and how it comes together with this global situation we are faced with. Because you were mentioning this that this has to be done globally, and I fully
Yes,
agree.
yes,
But the problem we are definitely faced with is right now that exactly the opposite is happening. When you look at everybody is insisting on his point of view, and
true.
global conflict or conflict potential is increasing. So we have to find a way
Yes,
out of
yes,
that, definitely,
yes.
and in order to
Yeah,
become innovation or future ready.
future ready, correct. So now I'll come to Dr. Aparajita, who is working as a center head for cyber laws and cyber related issues. And they are also the NLU Delhi, and this center is working with the Government of India, Ministry of Information and Technology, and other statutory bodies, helping them in framing the policies or preparing reports for them. And Dr. Aparajita is heading many such projects. And Dr. Aparajita, I just remember that in a recent past, Dr. Ingrid Galter and NLU Delhi conducted a very important course on digital forensics successfully. And now I want to know from you, Dr. Aparajita, what is going on in the cyber space, cyber security and cyber law space, and how you are participating and promoting these areas through your center.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for the opportunity, sir. And I would completely agree with Dieter here that there is a need to regulate AI. I think some years back, the question was, do we need a regulation on AI? Do we need to regulate AI at all? Because after all, it's just a technology. But now I think globally there is a consensus among states, amongst governments, among different state actors as well as non-state actors that AI, because of different potential of its being misused, needs to be regulated. And the onus to regulate, the onus to come up with a regulatory framework on AI lies with the state actors, with the government. So United Nations and all the countries are actually taking many initiatives already. EU is an example which has come up with its own first legislation on AI Act. And other countries have also taken a step towards this. So we at Center for Cyber Laws, through our research, are keeping a very close watch on the global developments on legal and regulatory front. What kind of bills are being proposed? What kind of policy measures are being taken by different countries across the world in shaping the law and regulation on AI? And as we are working very closely with the government on this, with the Ministry of Home Affairs on this, as well as MITI, the idea is to help the state actors, the government in India to shape its law on AI, to shape its regulatory and policy framework on AI. So, with that regard, as we are doing a very close research on the developments on AI, this is very sure there's a consensus that we need to regulate AI. We are also looking at different challenges which the law enforcements are facing, different law enforcement agencies are facing in investigating crimes which have been done with the help of AI. So when it comes to cybersecurity issues, national security, deep fakes, impersonation, all these hacking, wherein AI is involved. the present legislative framework is failing to address these challenges. With respect to procuring evidence, digital evidence, where an AI an AI intervention is present. So on ground level, we get to understand this from different people who are a part of law enforcement agencies, public prosecutors, investigation officer, what kind of challenges they are facing. And we do this with the help of case studies, right? So we get an opportunity wherein they share their experiences with respect to these challenges. We put them together in the form of case study and see how can we amend either our existing laws. India recently had three legislative reforms in terms of its substantial and procedural laws, in terms of digital evidence, as well as the IPC and CRPC. So how can these existing laws can be amended to counter these issues which AI is posing? So, uh, I mean, this is pretty sure that in spite of all the benefits, all the uses, all the advantages which AI has given to us, it's a wonderful innovation. But at the same time, the misuses, the potential of, I think there's a study which has revealed there are almost 20 plus future crimes which are very novel and unique, which will be done with the help of AI. And the current legislative regulatory framework would fail to address them unless we amend them, unless we come out with a regulatory policy or any new amendment. So I think that's the challenge, the first challenge which lies before us. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Parajita, for highlighting the role of AI in our lives and the challenges in regulating the AI. Before I invite Dieter, I would just like to mention recently I was studying the Yuval Noah Harari new book, Nexus, wherein he is projecting how AI is likely to destroy our heritage, our culture, our deep-rooted history, uh, and he has very thoughtfully, as he is known as a great thinker, Homo Deus and other things, books he has written. So I think there are not many challenges, and you have rightly pointed out earlier. I remember you presented a lecture on our monthly webinar on deep fake, and you have rightly pointed out that many new variety of offenses are in pipeline by those hackers and the dark web players with the help of AI. So AI is emerging as one of the major concern, and regulation is impending. We cannot delay it anymore. And I think Digital India Act, the proposed Digital India Act, is going to address some of the issues. We are watching the developments, and we hope that India too will have effective regulation in tune with the global standards. Now, over to you, Dieter. Uh, AI is one of the major concern. Then we have quantum computing and edge computing, the
I just want, yeah.
fastest computing processes which can process, store the data, and which can analyze the data in a fraction of seconds, which ordinary computer might take years to gather. So 6G is there. Uh, so how fintech is emerging as a potential tech innovation. So what is your take on these emerging technologies, and how do we foresee their impact in our lives?
Well, thank you. Because when I was raising my hand, I exactly wanted to move towards the issue of quantum computing and all these things developed with it, because there is a huge more crime frontier raising because of exactly these analytic skills of these or speed of these new technologies we already see in um, it is said that supercomputers today need 43 years to solve a problem that a quantum machine can solve in a few minutes. So all our passwords in a few years for all will be without any valid anymore, because everything will be open if we don't take precaution, and there will be a huge wave of cyber crime approaching us. And this was my question to you, to the Cyber Security Center. Are you already addressing this issue? Because there is something huge approaching us.
Yeah, so from India's point of view, right now, there is a serious lack on the regulatory front with respect to addressing these challenges posed by technology. And recently, we've had these new legal framework, but they fail to address the challenges. So government is seriously deliberating upon these issues, these concerns, and it is really serious to bring about an amendment. Or, I mean, it would be difficult to propose a new AI Act altogether, as EU has done, because that takes a lot of time and different rounds of deliberation, then the bill putting forward. So that's a very long cycle. But we need something very immediately right now. So government is actually deliberating upon this with different stakeholders. It has formulated different committees, and it's going to come up with some solution to introduce, to incorporate some amendments here and there, so that for the time being, we can address these concerns and issues under the existing legal framework.
Uh, Before I again request Dieter, I have one point, one case to make here. Uh, I have already written to the Niti Aayog, our think tank, policy think tank, and the Ministry of Information and Technology, two suggestions. One is that either we have a comprehensive compendium of laws, fresh law covering blockchain, covering fintech, covering AI, especially because that is more concerned, covering all the dimensions of the cyber security, or alternatively, we can have a specific sui generis law for each technology. Like I know in USA there is a Blockchain Technology Act. In in Europe, European Union, we have a GDPR. On the basis of that, we have already enacted data protection law, and I am going countrywide to popularize and to sensitize the stakeholders about this data protection law. Similarly, as Dr. Aparajita mentioned, we can also have a dedicated AI law. Other countries have already enacted AI law. We can study those laws and suitably amend to suit Indian requirements. And similarly, we can have a law to address fintech like these things. So either a compendium of law, like laws on technology, advanced technologies, or a individual separate law for separate technology, their issues, their challenges, their applications, the safety measures, all these things. So that is just my viewpoint. I come back to you, Dieter. What do you think? The Can we have a global consensus, a mechanism of arriving at global consensus on these critical technologies? That what these technology innovations can do, what they should not do, and what are the my focus now is on ethical, because everything cannot be controlled by law immediately. Making law is a process, is a long process, but ethical standards can be developed by stakeholders, especially those who are promoting technology, that they will
Well,
not allow the technology to be abused. So what is your view on this point?
well, you're raising, as a matter of fact, you're raising a lot of issues, and I'm struggling a little bit to sort it out, to answer to all of this. So, first of all, I'm not quite sure if it is a good approach to have all technology covered in a separate law, because this makes it very complex again. As you mentioned, law process are taking a very long time to finalize and to introduce. And so it's always behind, and very often, and especially in these days where things are moving so fast, when a law is finalized and in place, the situation has been completely changed, and so it's not applicable anymore. And so the lawmaking has to start all over again. And so it's just a very endless cycle, and that is leading nowhere. I think one of the issues we are faced with, before I come to the global issue, but generally, is that lawmaking is still rooted today, is still rooted in the old analog thinking. So to give an example, here in Germany, we have the possibility when when the text statement has been formally agreed to, and you informed about it, when you realize you made a mistake, you still can complain against it, and then the mistake will be corrected. But it's not working anymore because it's exactly listed up what mistakes can be addressed. But since it was the legislation was made so many years ago, digital text declaration is not an issue. So suddenly, judges rule that the law cannot be applicated anymore. Hey, hola. So if we come to a thing that's saying, okay, the the purpose of the law is to protect taxpayers, that mistakes can be corrected independent of technical platforms, or we don't know yet. Then the law has a much more general approach, and is durable for a much longer period. But to bring that into law practice, it's very difficult. And the other thing, of course, are the judges that are also still in the old analog mindset. Also to tell them, hey, all these the laws. You have you are the ones that are actually creating law practice with your judgments. So though you also have a much more open thinking doing so, or a much open approach, in order to keep a law open and applicable for future generations. And I think this is one of the big issues to educate lawmakers and judges to in the future to make our laws future ready. And the other issue is, of course, globalization.
Sorry, Dieter, I'm intervening for a second. Aparajita has messaged me. She has got another meeting. So she wants our permission to leave. I think we can allow her to leave. We will continue our discussion for another 10-15 minutes. Dr. Aparajita, thank you for joining. And
So thank you so much. I'm really sorry. I apologize for leaving in between. Thank you so much. It was a great opportunity to interact with you and Dieter. Thank you so much.
No issue. No issue. Please, you can
Thank
exit. You can exit.
Thank
Yeah. So over to you, Dieter, again. Yes. Sorry for intervention. Over to you again.
No problem. I really would have loved to get her opinion on that, but when she has to leave, nothing we can do about that. I'm looking forward in another occasion to also complete this discussion with her. But to come to the global issue, of course, as I said before, everything has globalized, and since technologies are global, and so also you can't separate it anymore, and you can't shut anything out, even when when countries try to cut out or to lock out the internet via VPN. You can bypass it, and so people still get the info in the global info from the internet and act globally, even if you ban it, at least to a very high degree. And so we need to find global standards, And that's very complicated, at least at the moment. And it will continue to be complicated even if we create a situation or an atmosphere. It will be open-minded. It can be done, and it should be done. And I don't think in the long run, it's not, we can't avoid it if we don't want to fail our future and to be dominated by the by technology. Because if we ban something, or and somebody else allows it, there will be ways that also we are using it, and so this will create a very chaotic situation. So dark night for everybody, and I don't think that's what we want. So we need to do that, and we need to do it early, because if we wait too long, the situation will be much more difficult to be sorted out. So we have to act quickly, and it still will be a long process. And of course, I know even with the situation as it is today, and people are, and the situation are getting so stuck in many ways. There still is a lot of debate and discussion in the background. So, and there's a lot of sensible people in the back that are aware of that. And the point is to bring these people together, and that's just to say something about the Diplomatic World Institute. The innovation platform we are envisioning is exactly to become one of the players, one of the platforms where these things can be discussed and where solutions can be initiated.
Agree. You have rightly
But
said,
mhm,
Dieter, you have very rightly said that no country can work in isolation.
mhm,
And we cannot detach ourselves. India, or for that matter, any country, cannot say that we are not concerned with these developments. We
mhm,
have a shared future. We have a shared uh, common heritage. And that is why we need a greater cooperation than earlier. And I think
mhm,
India, under the leadership of current Prime Minister, Mr.
mhm,
Narendra Modi, is taking great steps in bringing the world leaders on a common platform,
mhm,
be it AI, be it fintech, be it digital assets or cryptocurrencies. We are trying to develop consensus so that
mhm,
we can have a globally acceptable standard laws and regulations.
mhm.
Now, in this continuation, I would seek your opinion on two issues before we conclude this in conversation series number six. One is how ethically we can prepare ourselves till we create a effective legal mechanism. How can we lay down ethical standards for application of various technologies, especially the AI and the uh, digital assets and like cryptocurrencies, because Bitcoin is susceptible to so many crypto frauds, all that.
Mhm.
And second thing, uh, can you please tell in short our upcoming course, what we are going to discuss, and how it is going to help the global tech
Mhm.
enthusiast? Uh, I need your expert opinion, please.
Yeah, again, we need to work on our mindsets, and this will be this will be a key aspect to open our mindsets and to start seeing things more holistically and seeing the impact that is that we are trained for the last couple of thousand years where that we that short-term benefits will make us succeed, and of course they do in the short range, because it improves the situation of our families and our children, and gives them a head start for the future, of course, and that's what we have internalized. But problems have become so globally we need to open our minds, and this is very difficult to accomplish, in order to see what is happening, and to create responsibility for the global society. And this is, I think, one of the main issues we need to accomplish. It's a very complex issue, and it's not easy, but I don't think there is another way than doing so, if we want to be able to handle the future innovation cycle, the speed of future innovation cycles. And yeah, to talk about our course, our first project together. I already mentioned the Institute of Dr. Ingrid Vasiliou-Feltis, who brought us together. Already in 2019, when we founded the institute, we had the idea of, together with another partner that unfortunately dropped out due to global turmoil and the global situation we discussed. So we needed to completely start it new, and Dr. Ingrid brought us together with you.
Right,
And
right.
so we finally have the approach on deep tech and diplomacy. So because of course, deep tech also is influencing diplomacy. Either when we already mentioned deep fakes earlier in this discussion. Disinformation has become a completely new field, or a completely changed field, either for those who are using it to promote personal issues, and others who have to deal with it, with the issue of with deep fakes, and with the speed information is distributed globally. Diplomacy has a complete new dimension to cope with. To keep informations and conversations secure and internal has become very difficult, and how situations are perceived and abused has become a very complex issue. But that's only one of the issues that diplomacy is faced with in the deep tech sector, and we are approaching quite a number of it. We have a webinar in a month. The registration is already open. So wait for our announcements on that, just to get a first peek on what we want to do. Then we will have a symposium a month later, and then in early December, the introductory of our seminar, of our course cycle, with 10 to 12 lectures till the end of March or something like that. We will announce that separately. So giving an overview about the, well, I will not say the entire issue, because it's just too complex. So it will not be entire, but it will be entire-ish.
Thank you.
And yeah, and really great to work together with you. And I'm sure you also have to add something to our on our course you want to share with your audience.
Thank you, Dieter Brockmeyer, for accepting our invite and be here today to discuss some of the important issues regarding deep technologies, the challenges we are facing, and how we can get future ready. You have discussed simplification of legal regulations. You have discussed change of mindset to embrace these technologies. Dr. Aparajita has also discussed about the AI and cybersecurity, and I have also participated in this conversation. And we have very important and very interesting deliberations for our viewers and listeners worldwide. And as you have rightly mentioned, this joint course on deep tech law and diplomacy is going to be a game changer because we are addressing the entire gamut of deep technologies, the need for regulation, and how the diplomatic channels. We have very senior faculty members who have worked as ambassadors in several countries who will tell us the intricacies of diplomatic negotiations in arriving at the consensus, global consensus for efficient lawmaking or regulation on these various segments of the deep technologies. We have with us a leading expert, Dr. Ingrid, you, me, Dr. Parajita, uh, Ambassador A.R. Ghanshyam, and many more. We have
Well, I
already given.
let me mention, of course, innovation profiler, a German. I work with very closely Alexander Pinker, and he's really
Pinker,
good
yes,
in summarizing trends, or a senior professor in international relations, Olivier Arifon, who is also um, very popular in India because he is working with various universities there for many years
yes,
now. So
yes, yes.
it's really a great lineup
So
of people.
definitely, we have very eminent and distinguished experts from across various segments. I have just mentioned two, three names. We have given their details in our brochure, initial brochure, and we have started registration in India. I am getting good response, and elsewhere in your country or USA also, Dr. Ingrid is inviting applications. We will have symposium and webinars on Eventbrite. Those who are willing to know more about the course details and the delivery mechanism can register on the Eventbrite, and we will have all details shared with our participant before we actually launch our course. The modules, the timetable, the classes will be online, mostly on weekend. So all these things will be shared in due course of time. And it's really my pleasure to have a great interaction with you today. And we will soon release this In Conversation Series 6 episode for our listeners and viewers on various social and academic platform and YouTube channels. Uh, nice time with you. Thank
And
you very much once again.
and
Namaskar.
thank you for the
Namaskar. My
invite.
pleasure. My
And
pleasure.
I'm looking forward for the upcoming collaboration, and of course,
We are open.
hopefully future one.
Yes, we are also open for MOU with your institute. We have a MOU with Ingrid's Institute, SEI. We are also open and willing to have a MOU with your institute, Diplomatic World Institute. We will discuss modalities later. So again, thank you and good night from India. Enjoy your day. I think it is around 3 o'clock, 3 p.m.
Well, we have 4:15 now.
Oh, 4:15 p.m. Correct. So you have your evenings, nice evenings. Thank you
I
very
have
much.
more meetings lining up, but
Oh, great, great. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining. Bye bye. Bye bye.
but yeah. No,
Yes.
actually, no, not for the recording. It was for the outside recording.
Okay, okay, okay.